The diverse collaborators of the Valverde Movement Project are excited to be a part of the Civic Innovation Challenge.
Our goal for the Valverde neighborhood in Denver is to enhance community health and wealth through a community-oriented mobility system that allows everyone to access all the places they need to go, whether it's work, school, food and healthcare, or recreation, shopping, friends, and more. We use the planning grant to clarify and ground this vision through extensive bilingual outreach online, in person, and by phone. Through this outreach and more than 100 meetings with our partners and other experts, we gathered knowledge on the neighborhood and mobility technologies and extended our network of collaborators. Today, mobility is limited in marginalized neighborhoods throughout the U.S., including Valverde. Racist infrastructure investments have eroded community health and wealth, leaving behind isolating highways, intense traffic, few transit options, unsafe walking and biking conditions, and depressed property values. In Valverde, dozens of industrial businesses draw thousands of workers and trucks through the neighborhood, while residents must leave primarily by car for their jobs and other destinations. But Valverde was once a green valley, named for its fertile farmland and the river on its eastern border. It was also home to local manufacturing jobs that employed diverse immigrant communities.
In response to the Great Depression, the federal government invested in infrastructure that eroded health and wealth in communities of color. New policies redlined neighborhoods with people of color and industrial jobs, limiting opportunities for wealth building and making them prime targets for highway construction and urban renewal. This legacy of infrastructural racism, exclusion, and extraction has left Valverde more vulnerable to chronic disease, crime, gentrification, and infectious disease, including COVID-19. However, this isn't the complete or final story of this resilient, culturally vibrant neighborhood and its diverse leaders. Neighborhood leaders and numerous project collaborators are ready to spring forward rather than bounce back to pre-2020 patterns.
To avoid repeating mistakes and harms, we designed an integrated approach inspired by intersectional movements for social, racial, and environmental justice. Our multi-sector, intersectional, engaged approach to mobility system research, design, and operation does not tokenize residents through participation. Rather, we embrace a community-rooted, culturally responsive, asset-based approach that names harm, centers joy, and builds on collective strengths of numerous individuals and organizations. We use storytelling, asset mapping, participatory budgeting, and other collaborative approaches in multiple languages to strengthen civic capacity while guiding investments in contextually appropriate mobility solutions.
The co-designed mobility options could include a neighborhood mobility hub, microtransit, smartphone apps that deliver discounts, and resident-owned cooperatives like a youth-run passenger and cargo bike service. Residents and workers will also participate in time use and travel research to help the collaborators understand how the options are being used, how they should change, and if the intended benefits are being realized. During the planning grant, this approach came to life through the Valverde Movement Fest.
On Saturday, April 25th, 2021, Valverde neighbors, local nonprofits and businesses, university researchers, and folklorico dancers came together at the Justice for All Center to celebrate the Valverde neighborhood, to understand its history, and to consider future possibilities. Residents and collaborators connected with each other through story circles, story maps, surveys, voting, eating local, playing, and thinking. Through this sharing, we learned about areas of significance, areas in need of care, formal and informal histories, and residents' ideas and preferences. This knowledge and momentum creates a pathway forward that responds to residents' needs, that builds on the existing capacities and projects of partners, that leverages other government investments, and that connects the multiple systems that intersect with mobility.
I hope that through this process, we can create a place where community members can meet their needs through an integrated, multimodal transportation system that works for all, regardless of the color of their skin or the balance on their bank accounts. A system that has community ownership and that ensures that people can stay in their neighborhood if they choose to do so.
Join us in the Valverde Movement Project. Get involved with us in Valverde and West Denver, or follow our progress to learn about adapting this approach for your communities.